Okay, so I got more glowshift gauges. At the moment I'm gonna work on installing this RPM gauge or tack. The one I did have here, if you guys have noticed, I haven't had this one for a while because it was the I guess you would consider the most basic model that they had at the place that I got it. I don't recall if it was either AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, but it was like the cheapest. It was actually the only one they had, but it was very poor quality, and it failed pretty quick. It only lasted a week or so, or maybe a little bit more, but it just stopped working. And I ended up hooking up another one. It's probably a cheap one as well, and it wasn't working either. But anyhow, so I got this tack gauge that I'm about to hook up. Pretty much the same process as the last time, but I think this time I'll actually record that process so you guys can see it, what goes where, and all that good stuff. Got the speedo gauge, or whatever you want to call it, and along with it, this GPS speedometer sensor kit, so that it can get a reading from that. The last two gauges, volt gauge and fuel level gauge. Part of the reason I'm getting these is, as I've mentioned before, some of the gauges on the stock gauges on the D21, they tend to kind of flicker a little bit. They're never quite steady, which is one of the reasons that I got the volt gauge. It'll help measure that. The glow shift gauges are far more accurate. Another reason is I also snagged this dash from the same extended pickup truck that I got the rear axle and drive shaft from. I'm gonna modify the heck out of this so that I can install those glow shift gauges to them. I'm gonna mount them in a specific fashion and all that good stuff. Just modernize her a little bit more. But that's something else for another day. But again, for now, I'm just gonna focus on wiring, mocking this up, and I'll start working on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, as far as the wires go, the first thing I'm going to do is mock up and splice together the grounds. So hopefully you guys can see from your perspective. I don't know if I should zoom in more or not, but what I'm going to do is crimp the grounds from this end, and then the other end to this spare wire, and then connect this end. There's a stock ground over here. You can see me pointing at it. And that's where I'm going to connect this to, bolt it all together.
Get all that in frame. Just wanted this long strip of heat shrink beforehand, so it's already on there.
that on there. Now, if you guys recall from the last time I did this, the red and the white wires, you can splice them together, which I've done on this side. The two gauges are already connected to this one, and the orange to this side. So I'll start working on that and I'll be right back. Okay, now let's see how well we did. You can see the light came on, the gauge came on. Let's see how well. Okay, seems to be working pretty good. I just have to figure out how to mock this up properly. I'm gonna try and use this old bracket from the old tack. See if I can mock it up. That way at least it's there. And part of me is wanting to, I don't know, I gotta figure out a spot. I want to get the green wire. It's a wire that you hook up to your, if you guys remember, it would go to your coil for your intake side, on the I'm sorry, for the harness for the intake side coil, which is this one, the one that's closest to the firewall. It's also the one that has, again, just as a friendly reminder, it's the one that has 4 wires, and we have it hooked up to this ground wire, which is blue with red stripes every probably every inch or so. Just gotta mock that up permanently again, and again I gotta find the right spot. Is that I don't want to feed it through the fender like I had the previous one. I actually want it out of the way where it's not in the way of anything. I'm thinking of possibly drilling through the firewall. I mean, there's this spot right here, but it's really high, and I doubt I'd be able to reach it from the inside, but we'll see. I'll deal with that in a little bit, like off camera, and as well as mounting the gauge itself. But yeah, I just wanted to share this little quickie with the rest of the glowshift gauges, as well as this one, and my plans for this newer dash. But again, that'll be for another day. Anyway, just, you know, simple little upgrades. But anyway, I'll see you.